What's up, wild animals? I'm Melanie Vesey, and welcome to another Promotional Rescue talk show. I'm a stand-up comedian, actress, and filmmaker. And if you want to see any of my work, my comedy special, my movies, you can do that over at melanievesey.com. But I'm also a promotions consultant with my own company called Promotional Rescue, where I teach people how to promote themselves without feeling gross. And on this talk show, I talk with my guests, and the first part is available everywhere for free. We even watch it over on Comedy Hub at noon on Wednesdays. But the second part, where I have a little bit more of an in-depth conversation, is available over on my Patreon, and you can get that information at patreon.com/Melanie Vesey. And just to give you a heads up, February 20th, I'm having my website 101 workshop. It's a $25 suggested donation. I will teach people how to create a website that actually works for you, that doesn't fucking suck, how to set it up, where to put the photos, where to put the text, all of that good stuff. And I'll also teach you, if you're interested, over on Squarespace, how to actually set it up on Squarespace, how it works on the back end and all of that stuff. So if you can't make it February 20th, you can please still sign up and you will be sent the recording and you can watch it at a later date. All of that information is available at promotionalrescue.com. And please share with a friend that needs a little promotional rescue on their website. So on the show today, you guys, John Roberts. You may know him from his amazing character as Linda on Bob's Burgers. He also had videos that went viral, him doing an impression of his mom, you know, the Christmas tree, My Son is Gay, millions and millions and millions of views on these videos, super incredible, which led to him getting this part on Bob's Burgers, to which he was nominated for a fucking Emmy, which is amazing because he's so great. But John also does music, and he has I can't even talk, a single out right now called Freaks that is charting, which is super amazing. And this is a whole other side of John. It's sexy, it's fun, it's fucking cool. His music is amazing. He's partnered with some incredible people. His album is coming out soon. Please follow, favorite, and fawn over John Roberts and his new music, which is so fucking worth it. And the videos are fucking gorgeous. He's at John Roberts Fun, both on Instagram and Twitter. We have a fantastic conversation about how this all happened for him. And we also talk over on my Patreon, essentially about how he is truly himself, which is always, when people come to work with me, it's always their first concern and their fear. They're afraid sometimes of showing people who they are. But John is the ultimate success story in really just letting people see who you are and being the most comfortable with doing that work. So enjoy this chat I have with John Roberts.
Wow.
Hey, John, how's it going?
Melanie, how are you?
I'm so good. It is absolutely lovely to see you. We've already had a bit of a laugh about ourselves. So I'm so excited that you agreed to do the show. You've had such an incredible career, from making these viral videos. I just revisited them before we got on the call. I mean, millions and millions of views, and which has taken you all the way to here, which is Bob's Burgers, The Simpsons, Gravity Falls, and also to your music, which you got such fantastic news this week. I saw you posted that that Freaks charted this week. So talk to me about your promotional journey, about all of this.
I'm charting all over the charts in Italy. No, basicly, well, yeah, I have this remix EP of my first single that's off my full album that's going to be out in April. And I got these incredible producers to remix Freaks. So now they're doing really well on the club charts, which is exciting, with real DJs, you know. And it's Tommy Sunshine, it's Harry Romero, it's Antler Rock, Junior Sanchez produced the song. So they're great. They're really fun, clubby, but kind of vintage sounding, but new. So
Which is incredible because we're currently in a pandemic where people aren't out dancing. So how is this happening? I mean, the songs are amazing. They're speaking for
Yeah.
themselves, but
People are, I mean, DJs are still spinning. DJs are playing live. They're still doing shows, and people are still working out. People need music. I need music all day long. So
yes.
first, I held on to my stuff for like the better part of last year, and then after a while, you just want to put it out there and move on to your next stuff too, and you're excited to share it. So these are fun remixes, and next week or February 12th, we'll be premiering the song I did with Debbie Harry, and that's called Lights Out. And it's got this animated music video that's just gorgeous, and I'm excited to premiere that too and keep the ball rolling until April when we do the full album and get all the songs out. It'll be fun.
It's such a great point of view because I know that some people think about what's currently going on and they are afraid to kind of maybe share what's going on. But the truth of the matter is people really need content now. I mean, everyone is like trapped in their homes and they do need more, and not kind of like sad specific entertainment. They need entertainment. You know what I mean? Like they need to laugh, they need to feel good. And so I feel like this is an amazing thing that's actually maybe worked for you too as well.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, sure. But I was when COVID, when we first started in lockdown, I was writing these like really sad, like a sad song, and I was like, nobody wants to hear this. Like, it's so sad. And then I was just, because you're a little reluctant to share your stuff because there's so much sadness, and you don't want to make it about you or whatever, and you want to be respectful. And then 6 months later, you're like, okay, people are listening to music and
yes,
functioning, and people need to hear music. So
absolutely,
and comedy and all those things.
And so talk to me about, you made these videos, and it was funny because I was talking with a friend before we got on the phone, and I was telling her that you were going to be on the show. We were trying to figure out the timeline of when Christmas Tree and My Son is Gay and when those came out. It was
1800s, the 1800s. It was now it's like let's see, 2006, I think I want to say.
Right? And
15 years ago. Yeah.
Right, which is before really Facebook. I mean, it was all on YouTube, right? And
YouTube, yeah. There was a little bit of Facebook sharing, I think. Facebook was starting.
Right. But
it was all YouTube, and it was exciting because I never experienced that before. So all that the tree and all that was comedy I was doing in the East Village with all my dirty wigs for mostly gay audience, mix, but kind of East Village stuff and really struggling. And so it was nice to all of a sudden like get a bigger audience, even outside of, because even back then there wasn't really a mix of gay comedy. It was still, you had gay comedy and then the comedy, like all the people on Bob's Burgers were doing their thing at Rafifi, like 2 blocks away, but the worlds weren't really mixing together,
Right. So, I mean, talk to me about that experience. I mean, it sounds like, of course, everyone plans on making something that does well, but that's not always what happens, right? And then...
No. No. I mean, it didn't, it was hard. YouTube was really a great thing for me because it gave me an opportunity to get my stuff to people that would, it was going to like teenage girls and things like that who never would be at a gay club in the East Village on a, Wednesday night. So
the cock, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That is a place. That's not just me saying the words "the cock," everybody. So.
Oh, I used to DJ there. I was a DJ at the cock. It was YouTube was new too, so it was a new thing. Like, hey, do we try this and put it on there and see how people respond? And it was right before Christmas, so I knew the tree was already going to be a good timing thing. If anything, it was like, I thought people would send it around like a postcard or something. I don't know. And then
which they did. I mean, my family and I, we watch it every Christmas, whether we want to or not. My kid as little as 8 years old was like, "Who wants Baileys?" You know what I mean? Like it's just a part of like Christmas culture now.
Yeah, YouTube's amazing for that, you know. I mean, now there's TikTok for the kids and stuff, and
Yeah.
you know, it's just, you know, it was really the technology kind of gave people that were on the outskirts a little more of an opportunity to get seen, you know.
And so were you, I mean, you were always into music, right? I mean, you were DJing and what have you. And so was the music also moving along on this trajectory as well with the acting and the voiceover work, or is that something?
Well, you know what? I had a band. We were a little goofy, you know, OptiGrab. We would play around. We did some great shows though, Bowery Ballroom and all the, you know, great places in New York City. And we toured with Blondie, and we played with Tom Tom Club, and
Come on.
it was, you know, I felt like we were the band from Revenge of the Nerds. You know, that's what the audience always felt like. It was like this goofy vibe, and you know, we were having fun, and you know, and we're still very close friends. You know, it was like a thing that you did with your friends, and we outgrew it, I guess. And but then before that, I just kind of tinkered around with samplers and stuff, and pretty insecure and not really. You know, pretty shy for some reason after I was already in acting school. And with music, it was something that I really internalized for like way too long.
Mm.
And then OptiGrab was a good opportunity to actually get up on my feet and see that I could perform on stage and be comfortable and fine. And not take myself too seriously. I think that happens in your 20s. You really get in your head and you're like, you know, taking yourself like way too seriously.
Yeah.
And then just started doing some remixes. I did one for Blondie after that, kept a nice, good relationship with Debbie Harry, and did their album, Pollinator. They had me guest on a song, Love Level, which was crazy. Beautiful album too. And then I started to work with Big Black Delta around 2017. He's a great artist, and
yeah.
He wanted to work with me, which was crazy because I had just heard him on KCRW and was a really big fan, and I really needed at that point someone to work with because I was like spinning my wheels way too much by myself. And you know, I have a lot to offer, but you know, there's nothing like working with people. And I think that, you know, it's a good lesson to learn. You really have to kind of open yourself up to people, but it's also hard too. It's like finding a lover and that kind of thing. You know, it's such a personal thing, and it's also, you have to match up and both be on the same professional level in some way where you're, you know, making it happen and you're both completing this thing together. You know.
Absolutely. And we talk about that a lot on this show. We call it healthy collaborations because
Yeah.
you know, we do need partnership. And in a perfect world, that partnership happens both online and offline, right? So that you can feel like both people are coming to the table and pulling their weight. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing worse than being in a relationship with someone where you feel like you're doing 80% of the work and you know, people aren't contributing, which is what, you know, drives us all crazy. You know what I mean? So it is hard to find someone where it's like, not only are we working good in the actual creation part of it, but how are we both contributing to making sure that we're not just creating something that's going to happen in a vacuum? How can we make sure that it's getting to an audience? That's why we're doing what we're doing, seriously, so that it brings people joy or what have you, whatever the goal is behind it, you know? So
Yeah, I mean, I guess that the creative part is really where you want to make it as good as possible. So you're promoting something that people are going to actually like. And even to get to that part where you stop editing yourself for a second, because you really should edit yourself. And you know, I've written a lot of stuff, but I just would never share it because it's just not anything that's good enough. And you know, so it's good to get. Then you have some confidence, and so when you're promoting it, you really believe in it, and it makes a big difference. Also, if it's connecting to something real, as far as an audience, and you're not just in a vacuum. And
Oh my God, no, absolutely. And that's always too, I say this a lot on this show, even though I have a show about promotion, which is that you've got to make the best thing for you. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't just about only being promotion, because that's empty and weird. And that's what gives self promotion a bad name. People that are just tooting a horn, then there's nothing there. You know what I mean? And I have a lot of clients that are younger that are natural at promotion. However, the chops aren't always there yet. You know what I mean? And then I have my more established clients who are super amazing at what they do, but can be a little bit more hesitant sometimes about sharing. And I'm trying to get everybody in the middle, like.
Yeah, it's hard to share. It's hard to share. It's nice to do things in front of an audience. At some point, you have to get up and do something. Even if you're going to put it on social media or whatever, actually get in front of real people first to hear, how they're reacting is a good, that's always a good plan.
No, it's amazing. And, I'm a lot in stand-up comedy world, and I know a lot of comedians even go to areas where they know that they won't be necessarily well received to see how it goes. Like Chris Rock is totally like, if my album works in Florida, then I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, He's totally like, I've written a fantastic album. You know what I mean? Because I know it's going to work in New York and LA and Chicago and Atlanta. But like, if I go to Florida, he's like,
right. Yeah. You really got to get it on its feet. You got.
I know you got.
You gotta get it on its feet. It's true. It's more, but it helps a lot. It helps to, see the value in it too.
Absolutely. So talk to me now where it's like it must have felt really good where it was like you're creating this work, right? And you're putting it online and
right.
then it catches, right? And it's like, then
Whoa.
You get a job from it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, that was crazy too, because Bob's just kind of snuck in there. And I was working on a pilot at MTV with Bob Odenkirk and Michael Showalter. And I thought this was going to be picked up, all my characters and stuff. I thought it was really coming to like, this is the head. And now, here it comes. Here she comes. But she didn't get picked up. She got passed. But you know what? This is showbiz. This is what happens. But it all worked out for the best, I think. And Bob's just kind of slid in there and was this beautiful, organic kind of thing that happened. And Lauren kind of created this role for me, which probably will never happen again. Maybe. I mean, I would love it if it did.
I mean,
way to get something. I really hate auditioning with the passion. Just the worst.
Oh, it's very challenging. Well, it sounds like that a lot of times I feel like, and people don't really understand this that don't audition on the regular, which is that they tell you what they're looking for. But the truth of the matter is they really don't know what they're looking for. And you may bring something in the room and they're like, oh, that's what we want. You know what I mean? And so sometimes I think the benefit of putting this stuff online is that discoverability where then somebody goes, oh, that's what we want. We want that vibe, that mood about it, right? So it sounds like the project came to you and, thanks for sharing about what really happens in the world, which is getting this close all the fucking time, in showbiz.
I got three other floppy pilots. I mean, they're all good though. Because I love the work. I feel like that I stand by them. I feel like the work is good. But this is the odds of getting a show on and TV. You're probably not going to get your show on, but most after a couple of times maybe. But it's a miracle that I got on Bob's. I feel like the odds if I think about it. But I never really did. Think about that stuff. I just always was like something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, fortunately it did. Yeah.
Well, and it also sounds like what it did, and I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like it also gave you some confidence too, to then dig into that other side of the music. And then you also had an audience there where it was like, because I started my career working at a record label. So I really do understand what it is for musicians, especially emerging musicians, where it's just it's very challenging, and to not have development money, to be doing it on your own, trying to get radio play, trying to get people to, partner you with this. It's very, very challenging. So talk about that moment where it was like, wow, you had the resources to actually like do this other part of yourself, this other kind of like passion project too.
Yeah, well, Bob's is, we've been on for 10 years now, which is a long time for.
I know. Amazing. Amazing.
Wood. And I've been probably for the past 6 years or so, 7 years, just kind of writing by myself. And then maybe 4 years ago, I finally met Big Black Delta and was able to kind of invest in myself a little bit. I don't have a manager or an agent. And I was like, I'm not going to audition for anything because Bob's is going to keep going for now. And I'm in a good position to explore my passion here and work on these songs. So once I started working with him, kind of springboarded into meeting other people like Junior Sanchez. And then we hit it off and, I could actually work with him, Baby Daddy from Scissor Sisters, and feeling a little more confident and more comfortable, definitely in the studio on a microphone. Even though I've had home studios for a while, I didn't release anything. It's just very comfortable. It's a comfortable place for me, and getting more comfortable with my voice. I took singing classes in LA with Liza Minnelli's backup singer, and I mean,
wow.
But
so
like
cool.
around the piano and really, doing the, really singing and stuff, which is great. I mean, it's, it's not easy to hear yourself.
And that's what I'm talking about, which is really working on your craft. You know what I mean? Like standing next to a piano and learning how to project your voice or to find the notes, like that's all the stuff that's behind this like dance single. You know what I mean? I just feel like sometimes people think that like, oh, they can just do this because they want to, and yes, they can. However, it is very important to make sure that the craft is there and that the technique is there, and that's so that you can actually carry it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you want to be good. You want to be good. I mean, I think that, you want to be passionate about it, and if if you can sell all that, and you don't have to be Adele or Barbra Streisand, but you can, like you said, learn your craft and do it well enough to give people a great performance.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, and that's what I'm always saying, like you have to be your best. That's what I'm saying. The difference between like the best and like your best. It's like, no, I know where I'm at. You know what I mean? I know that I have certain things, but also too, it's like letting go of those expectations where it's like, there's so much that's put out there. And I'm pretty positive that what I'm going to be doing is probably a little bit better than most people because I care about it,
Yeah, well, you want to be proud of the stuff you put out there.
Yes.
You want to edit it, go back, listen to it, hang on to it for a while. Don't just think you're going to lay a golden egg every time. Because that really doesn't happen. You gotta really work with stuff and change it. Be willing to change it and make it better.
Yeah. So, and also because you now have like a really nice, loyal, what I see from the outside, receptive audience that loves you, of course, right? So talk to me about what it's like now to drop a single, right? You're totally like, do you do like a lead up? Do you do a countdown? Do you just drop that shit? Like, how do you handle your promotion around dropping your singles?
Well, here's the thing. This is all independent, my music stuff. I started my record label X Pop like just a couple months ago.
Cool.
I have PR that I work with, and I work with artists and people to help me, the album covers and the artwork and things like that. I pick all that out, the video directors and people that I want to work with, and put together something that's really, I'm very proud of. And then, we kind of time it out, and there's really no rules because it's indie. I'm not really expecting to be on the radio. I'm not, I'm just doing this more, this is like indie kind of dance stuff, maybe in the clubs and things like that. It'd be great to be on the radio, but I don't really see that happening. I don't know that that's, I'm too old to be on the radio, to be honest. I put
Never say never, never.
Never, but KCRW, sure, I'll that, but I'm not going to be on like Z100 or something. So there's a freedom in it too. I'm looking forward to when we can perform live, and and then sure, looking forward to making a great dance album that people love, and something people will listen to, and the response is always the best tell of it all, because if people don't like your music, they're not going to listen to it, and you're not going to see plays and things like that. I think the beauty of music is it's almost like fire in a sense, where it catches on and really, you have that, that chance of it kind of taking off, and it's exciting in that sense.
What a fantastic analogy too, where it's like, those sparks fly and create other fires. You know what I mean? Like that is,
sure. Yeah,
it's a really great way of putting it. And so talk to me about the timing, because you said the timing of it. What do you consider because I feel like when I'm working with artists, there always seems to be this urgency that I'm kind of trying to sometimes unplug a little bit, because I'm like, well, why don't we, there's this major holiday happening, or it's the dead of summer, or it's Christmas. What are some of the things that maybe you think about when you want to release your singles?
Well, timing is good. You don't want to release a single in December, I guess. Things that you learn. I mean, every artist wants to put their stuff out there, but there's time. Yeah, there's timing. And right now we started with the new year. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to start with these remixes, and I have the whole year to kind of roll out this album and do videos or whatever, and it's just 13 or 14 songs on the album. So it's
wow,
a lot of songs. So there's going to be the song with Debbie Harry in the video, and then there's a song called Divide People. And then I did a song with Beth Ditto called Nobody, and it's just so good. I love this song so much, and I feel like this is going to be a summer banger. And we got Felix the House Cat is remixing Lights Out with Debbie. We got great remix artists, and it's just such a pleasure to work with these remixers and get or Junior, get the final songs, and just listen to these tracks are just, I get very verklempt.
No, I mean, you're working with killers. I mean, Beth Ditto, give me a fucking break. And Deborah Harry, I mean, come on, it is incredible. So
it's too much.
And you're very smart to release or get started on the process in January because of, yes, summertime, right? That's when the music already needs to be out and established by that time, so that's when I'm talking to my audience, it's like, that's what we're saying about timing. Like, you don't want to release your single August 1st and think it's going to be a summer hit when it's like, everybody else has already been in that space and kind of, been there already, establishing that. And also too, in the real world, in-person stuff, when festivals are happening, they're booked the year before. Like, you don't submit to the festival the weekend before it starts. You know what I mean? So it takes a while to get this stuff kind of up and running.
Yeah. Definitely. You want to plan ahead for summer. You want to get it out probably in June, or, but for me, I only have 3 songs out on an EP. So Freaks is the 4th song. And I just want people to have some kind of I want to get a lot of songs out there, so people have an idea that, I'm doing this. And so it's exciting for me to release every song, because it just adds one more to the catalog, and
absolutely.
You want to take your time. You want it to be good. You want to pay attention and make sure that there's a reason, and that's the one that's going to hit, or but you never know until you put it out.
Well, you have to give it its day in the sun. You have to see if it'll do what it's going to do, so. And then also too, talk to me about the visuals, because, I've found that it's very difficult just to release music without a fun visual to go along with it. So do you plan on making visuals for all of those songs, or have you picked a few off the album that you want to push forward?
Well, Nina McNeely did my Freaks video, which was
it's so good.
she's just incredible artist. She works with everybody, and she really just, she's a choreographer, she's a director, art director, just did such a gorgeous job. And that's what's great about working with other people. You really want to find people that are more talented than you, or have a vision. They're going to add to some, and they appreciate what you're doing, and they want to work with you, obviously. But you want to work with really great people. So this is what I continue to look for. And I have this animated video coming out next, and he's another great artist, and it's just more of that. I want to find people that are going to make the songs even better. The song Freaks became way better because of the video, and I think that's important to, present everything really well.
Oh my God, absolutely. And so did you choose to go the animation route because you couldn't do in-person situation, or was animation always on deck?
Was in my neck. Because we had to animate my neck. Yes, I love animation, by the way, and also just to go back to hearing your voice and how hard it is to hear yourself sing. Seeing it come out of an animated character really creates this wall that you're able to enjoy it a little bit. You're kind of like, I don't know. I just always want to be animated now. I get the Gorillas whole thing. I mean, their animation is gorgeous, but it is great to be animated. It's really fun, and the video is going to be great. I mean, or like
Daft Punk, where it's like you have this like silver hood
over my head. Yes, good. Yes, no. I mean, it is fun to, but you want to perform too. I mean, I'm rehearsing, and I want a bit of a live band and things like that, backup singers, harmonies, and be entertaining. So I'm going to practice, until I can, perform live, and keep doing some video bits here. Nina McNeely is going to keep working with me on Divide People. She's doing a visual for that. It's kind of political, and a lot of civil rights and things like that. And, I'm just going to keep looking for people. I found an animator on Twitter. So, that's another great thing, is to reach out on your social media, because I'm asking friends, like, why don't you just put it on Twitter? And I thought, oh, wow, yeah, that's a great idea. And then, sure enough, met someone. I mean, I met Margaret Cho on Facebook. And
I really like, I think what's so tough is that people come to me and they have a lot of challenges with social media. And when I hear clients, and I specifically, when I'm working with clients, I'm trying to find why they're having a hard time putting their work out. And it's not necessarily because, they don't know how to post on Instagram, and I can always give a list of like the top 10 ways to share on Instagram. If you don't feel good about it, you're not going to do it. It's like your operating system has to be in line with it. And one of the things that I always say is that, social media is incredible for connecting people. Like you just said, like I just put it out there and then someone came forward. And also too, these people that 20, 30 years ago never would have even been accessible to us. They would have been in a green room or behind a bouncer. And now it's like you can just tweet at them or say thank you or congratulate them or engage or what have you. And then they engage back, which is incredible too,
Yeah, it is something. It really is. It's good for people that, don't have access to things, that other people do.
Oh my God. And and I also feel like now it has really leveled the playing field because nobody's out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody has to deal with connecting, whether either it's on Zoom or on social media or what have you. And I feel like so many people are realizing that this isn't negotiable anymore. Like you've got to find peace.
There's this Cameo thing too.
Oh yeah. Cameo. Yeah.
I don't want to do it because I just feel like I hate even this. I mean, I love you and stuff, but I hate to hear myself talk. I hate to do a video every day, which drives me crazy. And I mean, I definitely do stuff like that for people, definitely people that need it and pick up their spirits and stuff. But
right.
There's a ton of celebrities on cameo doing the whole thing, and
Oh, one of my clients is Gray Delisle, who does all of the, Daphne from Scooby Doo, and oh my God, she's probably the most like working voiceover artist, and she does it all the time. But also speaking to that, what you're saying is
too. It's good you
you
could
you
raise.
really can do it where you're comfortable at doing it, right? So, but understanding that it's important, but that make it yours, right? Where it's like you don't have to necessarily do shit you're uncomfortable with, but you still have to make peace with it to a certain extent. Because, I mean, if we think about how we used to promote shows in the 90s, wandering around with a flyer.
Flyer. The flyers were everything. You'd be at Kinko's getting that flyer ready, cutting the cardboard. Yeah, but it's hard. It's social media is hard. Especially if you feel like no one's listening to you, and you feel like you're just putting everything out there, and it's just all falling on deaf ears. For instance, on my Twitter, I don't know what to tweet about. I'm not really great on Twitter. I'm starting to feel like, okay, people are listening. But I don't. Twitter's horrible. It's all kind of horrible, but it's kind of nice too. I mean, there's good connections that happen there. But I was just playing my favorite songs on YouTube and stuff, and now that's kind of caught on like 2 years later. And when I was doing it, I think there's got to be this part of you that really doesn't care, or doesn't take it too seriously in a way, because you got to have some fun with it, or people are just gonna see through that.
Oh my God.
Get personality out there in some weird way. Just be yourself. I think it starts to catch on.
I couldn't agree more. And it's like, and when you find your way of doing it, it doesn't feel gross, which is what is my whole thing, which is that you've got to figure out a way to do this so that you don't feel icky, so you can keep doing it, so that it feeds your projects, so your projects can stay alive, and then you can keep making more projects so your projects stay alive. Or otherwise, what else is there? Are we going to start selling insurance at this stage of the game? Like we're
Yeah, it's hard. It really, you got it, and it's nice to work with other people too, maybe that are social media experts or people that can help you, because I've just been winging it, and I've gone on Bob's and they have PR, and I made some money. I can hire a little PR. It's been different for me, but it's hard in any case to be noticed and stuff. But I think the best thing you could do is make good work, focus on making the work as good as you can.
Yeah.
And then find the best people to help you, in all the aspects of whether it's, making the picture of what it's going to look like, and the fonts that go on it, and people that are going to, help you, get your vision out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, John, we're going to hop on over to my Patreon right now. So everybody, John Roberts, you can get his new single Freaks, which is out. Also follow and favorite and fawn over him at John Roberts Fun on Instagram and Twitter, and keep up with him. We're going to hop on over to my Patreon right now. We're going to finish the conversation, patreon.com/Melanie Vesey, and we'll see you over there. Bye.
Melanie, thank you. Bye, guys.